Welcome back to the Map for College learning community. My name is Ernest Manelli, founder of Map for College. This video will focus on the importance of organizing and prioritizing your list of activities as you prepare to complete the data entry portion of the Common Application and of your college application cycle. The Common Application represents a common point of data entry for information, biographical information, school-based information, information about your prospective colleges, information containing recommendation letters that can be uploaded to the portal by your recommenders. So the Common Application is a very helpful point of entry in terms of assembling so much of your application material under one electronic portal. And as part of the Common Application, students are asked to complete what I think of as the data entry portion. Now, the data entry portion would be where you list your biographical information, your student identification information, and then you also list activities that you have done and participated in, both in your school community and also things that you've done in terms of community service, awards, acknowledgement. And this might seem like a fairly straightforward portion of the application cycle within the Common Application portal. However, I have worked with many students who come to me and initially say, well, I'm not sure what to list. I have more activities than there are spaces to accommodate. I'm not sure what to prioritize. So from a record-keeping standpoint, the first thing would be, if you are watching this and you're a rising senior, you should very quickly be able to put together or assemble or craft a basic student resume, a resume of activities and interests that have been spanning the high school years. Now, if you are a rising junior, rising sophomore, rising freshman, then you have time to take into account the record keeping, the assembly of a student activities list, a student resume. It would help to start that process early just so you can add information to an ongoing document. And so for many students, the biggest question I will get will be, what should I prioritize if I have multiple activities? And my response would be that colleges really take an interest in what you take an interest in. So in other words, if you were very tangentially involved, in other words, let's say you signed up for a club with one of your friends and you went to a couple of meetings but really didn't participate, and you could technically list it as an activity. And my vote would be, if you really didn't participate and didn't fulfill any meaningful role or responsibility, and if it didn't play a significant role in your educational pathway, then you probably are not best served to list it. In other words, I would list quality. I would list things, activities that you have initiated, groups that you have joined and been a part of in a meaningful way. You may have grown into a leadership role within a sports team, within a drama club, within a debate society, within even a community-based organization that may or may not be affiliated with the school. If there's something that you have dedicated your time and talent to on a consistent basis, even if it happened to be for just 1 or 2 school years, even if it had a finite period of time in which you were involved, if your involvement was meaningful, by all means list it. I would encourage students to prioritize those activities higher up the list that have represented the longest period of commitment, the longest period of affiliation, and the most significant contribution. So there could be a club that you joined in the middle of 10th grade, but you've taken on leadership roles, you've been actively involved, you can show that, and you can talk and speak to the fact that you have been very engaged in a meaningful way in this club or activity, then put that up toward the top of the list. So some students think they have to list everything and they want to have all the spots taken. I would say quality comes through more than quantity. And most admissions officers who read plenty of common application student profiles, they can tell pretty quickly, okay, activities 1 through 4 were very meaningful to the student. Activities 5 and 6, not so much. And activities 7 and 8 probably shouldn't have been listed, just as an example. And maybe you have 8 to 10 activities that are just grand slam home runs and you want to make your best representation of your involvement and of your level of participation. Hey, that's fine. But I would encourage quality. I would encourage you, anything you list in the common application, you should be able to speak to in a campus interview or an alumni interview. So in other words, if you're meeting with an alumnus and that person asks you about, can you tell me about something that you've been involved in that's made a significant impact on your outlook and on your overall approach to life, you should be able to come up with something that really does resonate and really does have meaning for you personally. So I think the greatest message from this video is that if you are a rising senior and you know that the Common Application portal sort of cycles into its new year August 1st, it's like we should have kazoos and like a little party and maybe cake and ice cream. But August 1st, you can just, hey, let's just crank away with the data entry. I would encourage you to get a student resume together first so that your data entry flows more meaningfully, more intentionally, and we can certainly help. We actually do a number of common application workshops, and also even if you're applying to schools that are off the common application, for example, the University of California system has its own application portal, and that application portal, I believe, is open from October 1st to November 30th, and so you have to apply through them. And there are other schools that are not necessarily on the common application, but the vast majority of schools are. Whatever the case may be, whatever schools are on your prospective list, we can provide guidance, thoughtful guidance, transcript analysis, honest evaluations of which schools are reaches and which schools are targets. And if you've watched previous videos, you know that I don't necessarily recommend applying to safety schools, because a safety school to me is a school where you have great metrics, you meet the numbers, you're likely to get in, but you're unlikely to want to go. There's not really the motivation. I would encourage you to increase your targets, increase the number of schools where you have a very good prospect from a metric standpoint and from an overall interest standpoint, because those schools in the target range will often yield the best results in terms of the highest percentage of prospective admissions. So if you would like to talk about your list of schools, your approach to the common application, your student resume, and how to organize your thoughts about how to describe the activities that have been meaningful to you, please feel free to reach out. 781-925-0121, phone number. It's a landline, so you can call, but you can't text. 781-925-0121. And my email is guidance, so just the word guidance, @mapforcollege.com. Our website, www.mapforcollege.com. We are happy to work with students and families. We can work with students locally and also students nationally, and we get great results in terms of finding meaningful opportunities, successful opportunities for students from a wide variety of backgrounds. So please feel free to give us a call, send us an email. We look forward to working with you and sharing ideas with you. Thank you so much.